Two plots, 1 week, a nation on edge. Burkina Faso didn't just survive the first week of 2026, it endured two separate threats to its leadership, each more explosive than the last. Tonight, we take you inside the tension, a foiled coup attempt on January 3rd, a separate assassination plot revealed days later, and the intelligence web that connected them both. From armored vehicles rolling through Ouagadougou to redacted files and midnight briefings, this is a story of power, survival, and the pulse of a nation at a crossroads. I'm Amma Camben, and this is Africa Ascending, where clarity meets legacy. Now, to guide us through the full timeline and the forces behind these events, I hand it over to our senior correspondent, Zola Mbaye. Zola, over to you.
Two plots, two threats, each more dangerous than the last, lurking in the shadows. 1 week, a nation on edge, holding its breath as uncertainty thickened the air. As January 2026 began, Burkina Faso's capital, Ouagadougou, was gripped by tension. The city's usual rhythm was replaced by a sense of foreboding, as if everyone sensed that something monumental was about to unfold. The new year brought not celebration, but the chilling revelation of two connected conspiracies, a coup and an assassination plot. Whispers of betrayal echoed through government halls. President Ibrahim Traoré's government, already tested by past coups, now faced its gravest threat yet. The stakes had never been higher for his fragile administration. The turmoil began in darkness, a stark reminder of the region's volatility. Night after night, the city's silence was broken only by the distant hum of military vehicles. Citizens, still reeling from two coups in 2022, watched as rumors and uncertainty spread. Fear and anxiety became part of daily life, as neighbors whispered about what might come next. The government's swift response revealed a sophisticated, multi-pronged attack designed to decapitate leadership and invite foreign intervention. Every move was calculated, every decision critical. The mood shifted from hope to vigilance. Traoré's promises of sovereignty were under siege. The nation's future hung in the balance. Press conferences answered some questions, but deepened the sense of crisis. The world's eyes turned to Ouagadougou, searching for answers. This was not just a domestic emergency. It was a geopolitical flashpoint, with fingers pointed at neighboring countries and their Western allies. The stakes extended far beyond Burkina Faso's borders. The events in Ouagadougou reflected a larger struggle for influence across the Sahel. Regional powers watched closely, aware that the outcome here could reshape the balance of power. As the government worked to untangle the web, the world watched. Could this revolutionary government survive? The uncertainty was palpable, both at home and abroad. The first week of January became a crucible of loyalty, betrayal, and national resolve. Every day tested the limits of trust and unity. High-stakes intelligence, military maneuvers, and the people's determination would define Burkina Faso's path. In this pivotal week, the nation's fate would be decided by courage, vigilance, and the will to endure. The first blow was set for the night of January 3rd, a date chosen for its symbolism and the cover of darkness it provided. Plotters meticulously planned a swift, violent takeover, assassinating President Traoré and key officials in one coordinated strike, hoping to decapitate the government before dawn. Their goal was clear: paralyze resistance, seize the capital, and neutralize the country's vital drone base, which had become the nerve center of national defense. By disabling this high-tech facility, they hoped to blind the government's defenses, disrupt communications, and prevent loyalist counterattacks before they could even begin. Ground forces were ready to secure government buildings and broadcast stations, banking on speed, surprise, and the confusion of night to overwhelm any opposition. But the conspirators underestimated the vigilance and resourcefulness of Burkina Faso's intelligence services, who had been quietly monitoring suspicious activity for days. As the plotters finalized their preparations, loyalist security forces quietly mobilized, moving swiftly and silently through the city's shadows. Armored vehicles rolled through Ouagadougou, not as part of a coup but as a counter-coup, determined to protect the fragile order. The military presence signaled not collapse, but control, reassuring citizens that the government still held the reins of power. The midnight plot unraveled before it began, thwarted by the very institutions it sought to destroy, as loyalists detained the ringleaders and secured key sites. The capital awoke to the news. The coup had failed before it started, and a fragile peace had been preserved, at least for now. The coup was not stopped by luck, but by intelligence. In the hours before the attack, security services intercepted key communications between conspirators. A crucial recording revealed their plans, targets, timing, and movements. Armed with this evidence, the government acted swiftly, dispatching forces to arrest the ringleaders. The network was dismantled in targeted raids, leaving the plotters in disarray. Minister of Security Mahamadou Sana praised the agents whose work averted bloodshed. The public release of intercepted recordings reassured citizens and warned would-be collaborators. The message was clear. The government was watching and prepared. In the shadows, intelligence had won the battle for Burkina Faso's future. As the nation processed the failed coup, a second, darker plot emerged. On January 6th, authorities revealed a plan to assassinate President Traoré. This was no broad takeover, but a targeted strike, discussing close-range attacks and explosives at his residence. The aim: create a power vacuum ripe for foreign exploitation. The government's late-night broadcast framed the threat as an attack on national sovereignty. The revelation deepened the crisis, confirming a sustained campaign to destabilize the state. The two plots, one a coup, the other an assassination, were two sides of the same coin. Both sought to remove a leader challenging the regional order. The nation was left to wonder. How many more threats lurked in the shadows? As details emerged, so did accusations. The government named exiled former leader Paul-Henri Damiba as the chief orchestrator. Living in Togo, Damiba was accused of repeated attempts to reclaim power. The plot, authorities claimed, was financed by Ivory Coast, allegedly providing $125,000 for the operation. This escalated the crisis into a regional standoff, implicating a major West African power. Benin was also accused of serving as a training ground for French-backed operatives. These claims fit a broader narrative: former colonial powers and their allies working to undermine Burkina Faso's sovereignty. The region's political tapestry now featured Traoré, the exiled Damiba, and neighboring states drawn into the fray. As of mid-January, Damiba had not responded, and the accusations hung in the air. The battle lines in West Africa were now unmistakably drawn. The plots unfolding in Ouagadougou can't be separated from the Sahel's shifting geopolitics. Every move in the capital echoes the broader power struggles and alliances that are reshaping the region. Traoré's dramatic rise marked a decisive break with the past, expelling French troops, challenging old colonial ties, and championing a bold vision of Pan-Africanism. His leadership has inspired both hope and controversy across the Sahel. In 2023, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger came together to form the Alliance of Sahel States, or AES, a mutual defense pact designed to protect their sovereignty and strengthen their collective voice on the world stage. The AES bloc seeks true independence from Western oversight, forging a new regional identity rooted in self-determination. For many, it represents a chance to reclaim agency and chart a new course for the Sahel. Yet, this alliance has deepened rifts with coastal neighbors like Ivory Coast and Benin, who remain closely aligned with France and wary of the AES's ambitions. The region is now split, AES nations on one side, and ECOWAS-aligned states on the other, each with competing visions for West Africa's future. Recent interventions, such as the December 2025 French-Nigerian operation in Benin, have only fueled suspicion and heightened tensions, raising fears of further escalation. For Traoré's government, the January plots are just one front in a much larger struggle, between two competing visions for West Africa's destiny and the right to determine its own path. The stakes are not just national, but continental. The outcome will shape the lives of millions, influencing the future of Africa itself. The Sahel stands at a crossroads, its alliances and adversaries shaping the fate of generations to come, as the world watches closely. In the aftermath, Ouagadougou transformed. Security tightened, military patrols and armored vehicles became a daily sight. But the response was not just military, the people mobilized. As coup rumors spread, hundreds took to the streets, waving flags and chanting support for Traoré. This spontaneous show of unity sent a message. The government was not alone. Traoré's anti-imperialist stance had inspired deep loyalty, especially among the youth. For many, Defending the president meant defending their hopes for a sovereign future. The crisis forged a powerful bond between government and people. Tensions remain, but so does a new resolve. Burkina Faso stands vigilant, its path forward uncertain but fiercely defended. The nation's edge is now sharpened by defiance, and a collective will to protect its chosen destiny.